Today's episode is brought to you by Munchie Mug, the world's #1 premium no-spill snack cup. Listen to today's episode for a special offer from Munchie Mug. Munchie Mug, making your life less messy. Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian, the host of the aforementioned podcast, and alongside me in our state-of-the-art recording studio / the due south wall of our bedroom is my lovely wife and co-host of this podcast, Melissa Nickerson.
Hey there.
Hi everybody, it's Dustin Taylor and Melissa Ruth. Just going by our middle names today, just feeling that out, see how that hits you. You know,
it's different.
I'm just gonna throw that out there and just see how y'all receive it. And go from there. Welcome, everybody, to our little podcast that could. We really appreciate you guys hopping back in the back seat, backseaters.
That's
back
right.
in the back, in the back, in the back, in the back, back. Means a lot to us. I hope this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I don't know what day you listen to this podcast, but I hope it's a good one. Wherever you may be listening to this, the car, with your kids in the car, the gym, doing some chores, mowing the lawn.
Folding laundry.
I would categorize that as a chore.
I
but
would agree.
For some people, it's a gift.
Walking the dog.
Putting on your AirPods around your family and tuning the family out.
Oh, yeah.
Which we will discuss more later.
Some people grocery shop and listen to podcasts.
Totally get that. I can see that. Absolutely.
I can't multitask like that.
No, you know, it's... I
don't know.
I would say the worst part of the pandemic for you was me having to do the grocery shopping. Which we'll never forget that, by the way.
It was good and bad.
Well,
because I didn't have to deal with the stress of it.
Yeah.
You know, because you were going to get COVID at the grocery store.
Well, listen, I don't know if we've ever formally addressed this, but in the height of the pandemic lockdown, I was selected to do the grocery shopping, even though I had never done the grocery shopping before, because essentially the family got together and said, of the family members, we could lose Dad. Dad is the most expendable family member that we have.
You were just going to be the most resilient out there.
We know that's not true at all.
Against the germs.
I don't understand this at all, but you are easily the meanest of the two parents.
Yeah.
But also the most popular.
No.
It's not even close.
It's the nurturing.
You don't nurture. You're not nurturing. You don't have a nurturing bone in your body.
No, you're right.
You're not warm. You're not particularly kind. You're not particularly
I'm not
touchy. In stereotypical loving ways, you're none of those things.
Okay.
You bark a lot of orders around the house. You're pretty stressed a lot of the time, and you are by far the more popular parent. By a mile. It's a long shot. I guess they just see through my crap and they're like, well, Mom has substance though. Dad's just the cruise director. Dad won't actually be there for Dad's not actually doing a lot to care.
There's something that's nurturing about me. I think it's just...
No. This is the thing.
The needs.
The children, their needs are met. They are nurtured, even though you are not stereotypically nurturing. They know that everything that they need is provided through you, and everything that you could want from a mom and more, you give to them. But, you know, it doesn't... It doesn't
feel like it?
It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. But it works. They love you. They don't love you more than me. I'm just saying on a pure popularity standpoint, everyone's like, oh yeah, Mom's #1.
Well, I guess I'll receive the compliment.
It is a compliment.
Yeah.
I'm also just baffled by it. I don't fully understand it because I'm like, I make a new trampoline game up from scratch once a week.
Right. You do.
We laugh.
You absolutely do.
I think that they know in a pinch. It's like they know if the ship is going down, you're the medic and I'm the magician.
You're like, we're still having fun.
Yeah, they're like, I mean.
And then I'm handing out life jackets.
Yeah, you're handing out. Yeah, exactly. They're like, I mean.
And I got snacks in my pocket.
Yeah. They're like, that was a good show. She will keep us alive.
So just like intrinsically, they know.
They know.
Yeah.
They know this is a good
short term,
long term. Yeah, they know I'm a trip to 7-Eleven and you're a 401k. Yeah. Anyways, everybody, thanks for tuning into our podcast. I think we got the clip.
We're dressed up today.
Yeah. Oh, well, Melissa's, as I said right before we get on here, I mean, I'm in literally shorts, a crew neck sweatshirt that I got used, and
it's
a Venice
vintage,
Beach.
Dustin.
I know, still used. If you guys don't know this, vintage is just a code word for pricey used.
Yeah.
More expensive, previously owned.
Yes, but vintage makes it cool.
Yeah, it's do you want a Goodwill product but with a full
$40
but with normal prices?
Yeah.
Have you ever gone to Goodwill and wished that they were more expensive than normal clothes? Vintage shops.
It's more expensive than Target.
By far.
Yeah. It's like Urban Outfitter pricing.
It is. It really vintage. Well, because what they do is they do it for you, right? They do the curating. They do the curating for you, and then you go in, and it's good. Our favorite thrift store was Value Village up in the Northwest, and they always said like the ultimate treasure hunt.
And it was a hunt.
Vintage is just like walking into a jewelry store. Like we already did the treasure hunting for you. It's all here.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
It's great.
You have a vintage.
I have a vintage sweatshirt and a vintage Venice Beach hat on, which
but that's a really nice brand.
Yeah, but it was this one was used. These were both $20. Let's not get carried away here. I'm not insane, and they're a write off. And then I walk here, and Melissa's wearing this like billowy white big. And I asked her if she was ready for a sword fight because
and I am.
She's dressed like a Three Musketeer right now. The candy bar. She's just like the candy bar. Melissa is wearing silver and red, blue, and I think there might be some white in the Three Musketeers. Three Musketeers. What's left in the candy bucket in December? Sorry, I'm speaking purely in catchphrases today.
Women's fashion is hard, okay? And
there was
t-shirts don't look that good on camera. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Well, there was some great TikTok about that the other day about men's fashion, like, hey, I found this thing that I'm gonna wear for the rest of my life. Like, and it's not the same shirt, but it's the same style. And I found that about 5 years ago here in San. We both made I think specifically I made a Southern California adjustment, which is like
to your wardrobe,
to my wardrobe, which was essentially I shorts. So.
Wow.
Not a lot of shorts worn in the Northwest.
You know what I was thinking about this morning?
What were you thinking about this morning, Melissa?
I led and taught
sword fights. Not even like the skinny sword is what you know what I'm talking
Jousting?
about.
I don't know.
The little skinny sword with like the Three Musketeer sword. You know what I'm talking about.
Fencing. We have friends who fence.
Fence. What? We don't. No, we do not.
Yeah, they're canoe and kayak friends.
What?
Yeah.
Who kayaks and fences?
These guys do.
We don't live in Beverly Hills. What are these? Who kayaks and fences and doesn't get the vaccine for polio?
Stop it.
Who are these bougie 1%ers?
What are these? Two families who fence.
How many horses do they own?
Fence.
I
think those are parallel sports.
There is no parallel sport to fencing. To a stable, yes.
Yeah, if you have a horse in a stable, you also have tried fencing.
Yeah, do they yacht to their fencing practices?
They might.
Goodness gracious.
Well, do you want to hear my...
I don't mean to brag, but we rent in East County. On a busy street, baby.
Hey, you want to hear my story or no?
Yes, I do.
It's fine if you don't.
I just had to tag it up a bit.
Okay, we're clipping along here.
Clipping along.
During the pandemic, I organized and taught online workout classes. And then I went in
through the
person,
rec center.
Outdoor. I taught fitness classes for like 15 months of the pandemic.
Right.
Until my daughter's canoeing schedule wouldn't allow that.
Right.
And I wasn't going to pay a babysitter like all this money.
Of course not.
To drive her. So I stopped. And I still gained 10 pounds during COVID.
Right. And we were working out so much.
And I think that just goes to show you how hard it is for some people to stay the same weight.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really have any interest in it at this point. Just let me blossom up till death. Let me just like a balloon that you blow up.
I mean,
and then when I pop, it's over. Right.
But I'm just saying. I just was thinking about how ironic it was.
Oh yeah.
That
you actually teaching the classes. Yeah. Anytime I see someone who is like in unbelievably good shape, like noticeably good shape, I go, that's your whole thing. You know what I mean? That's who you are. And that's great. Like, my whole thing is comedy. That's my thing. Comedy is, well, I mean, of course.
The through line.
The through line of everything I do is comedy. I have a comedy podcast. I wrote a comedy book, How to Be Married to Melissa, available everywhere. I am a stand-up comedian. I make these videos. Comedy.
Tour, perform.
I get why people lose weight. Because this is a common thing you see on the internet. People will lose a lot of weight, and then that will become their thing on the internet, on the Instagram. Well, they'll go like weight loss journey, fitness tips. I totally get it, because to radically transform your body, either lose a ton of weight or like get super cut or bulk up, whatever it may be, that takes so much of your time, and it's really not just your time, your mindset,
mental energy.
Today, you and I, right after we do this, we will go on a hike and we will do some push-ups on said hike, and maybe we'll treat ourselves to a smoothie. All right?
Yeah.
Incredibly healthy thing. That takes 2 hours. 2 hours. That's so, and that, you could do that every day and we would not get in some unbelievable shape. To get like cut, abs are always the thing. I know this from the rec center days and working at gyms, and we've been in fitness areas forever. To have abs, it's a dedication.
Oh,
you cannot passively get abs.
Absolutely. Sorry. I had to do it. I ruined your rant.
Melissa, that was an abomination of a dad joke. Hey-o, we're back, baby. You think I'm upset about a dad joke? Up top, high five. Boom. The point is, there are no passive abs. You can't just be like, oh my gosh. Well, I took this week at Chick-fil-A 4 times, I got the salad instead of the fries. And now I have abs. It's never happened to anybody in history.
Not a middle-aged person.
No, not even a child. Well, the child's never.
I mean, our kids have abs, but they work out like 5 times, 5 to 7 times a week.
If my child ordered a salad instead of fries, I'd be like, you're not mine, are you? I wouldn't like disown them. I don't mean that. It would be a revelation to be like, you don't.
This is a different genetic code.
Mel and I just adopted a child without me knowing, which is crazy because you look a lot like me. We found somehow you snuck in here. You were a little health-minded toddler walking around the neighborhood and doing little push-ups and going, hey, where is there a family that looks a lot like me here? And then they snuck into our house because I look like them and they like cats.
There it is.
And that's how we got Gloria. Guys, a couple things real quick.
We're all over the place.
Best episode we've ever done. Upcoming comedy shows. The seasonal headliner tour is almost wrapped, everybody. Just a few cities left. Coming up this weekend, Thursday, sold out in Houston. Friday and Saturday, we go to Austin. There are only tickets available to the Friday late show for that one right now. That's at 10:30. The Improv in Dallas for the big comedy special. The 7:30 show is almost sold out. There's like 10 tickets left, so you got to go to the 5 o'clock. That's October 2nd, this coming Sunday. Please buy tickets to that. And then the remaining dates, we have 2 more cities after that. October 14th and 15th in Royal Oak, Michigan, and then October 19th in Philly, PA. And then we move St. Louis to January 6th through 7th. That's on sale now as well, but there'll be
more dates coming
in
2023.
Dates coming. The only one I know for sure right now is Denver. We'll be going to Denver in the new year.
Yeah.
We'll announce it when it's on sale.
You ready to film this?
Film what?
You ready to film your comedy special?
No.
Your second one?
I've never been ready. I'm terrified.
I think you're ready.
I think I am too. I actually think I am, well, it's not even a question. I am much more prepared for this one than the last one. Here, let's do a little Dustin's Comedy Corner.
Let's do it.
DCC, everybody. Allow me to self-indulge a little bit and talk about my craft. Oh, gosh. The Overwhelmed is a special that I'm very proud of. and I have no regrets over. You learn a lot when you do it. I think for me, I'm not going to speak generically about comedy. All I can talk about is my specific experience, which is I had reached a point with Overwhelmed where I didn't have like this like unbelievable hour that I had toured necessarily, which is what a lot of comedians, when you see their specials, they do. It was more, I had been doing comedy for 9 years and I had all this material that I was kind of ready to retire because, you know, only one that I picked. I've told this joke about 1,000 times and I'm about ready to, and I love it and I'm proud of it and I'll post it till the day I die, but I can't tell it on stage much more. Yeah. And so
it was time. You had the time.
And no matter, we actually filmed it 2 years ago today. I got that Facebook memory today. Yeah. Which actually makes me feel pretty proud that I've written a new hour in 2 years, you know? Yeah. Exactly 2 years. I mean, to the week, it's been 2 years. So, yeah, that feels great.
And we did the photo shoot for the book a year ago.
Wow.
This September.
Yeah, listen, there are many things that I can feel guilty and scared about. The amount of content I create is not one of them. And that Taylor and I were talking about this week about how you almost feel guilty saying it, but this is just a factual statement. From a career standpoint, the time of the pandemic was very good for me.
The timing?
The time of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I wish it happened. I'm just reflecting on it.
Sure.
And that you go, if you take from February 2020, where Taylor and I did our last shows in March. Yeah. To now, 2.5 years later, exponential growth. Got good at the internet, figured that out, released a special, released a book, kind of defined my voice on on the things that I was going to talk about or the things I was going to talk about and not talk about. The BLM stuff was huge. Pivotal. June 2020 was the biggest career change for me. And I think I'm not alone in this because any of us who had some amount of a platform, you had to make a decision of like what you were going to talk about and not talk about.
Right. Well, because our country was like on fire.
Yeah. And you either really, you didn't have 3 choices. You had 2 choices. Your choice was talk about it or talk about nothing. Those were your choices. Because if you were talking about something else, it felt in such poor taste. I think I told you what was crazy. It's changed now. It started with Kobe's death. It went from Kobe's death till I would say the vaccines. Everybody was talking about the same thing all the time. There was one congruent thought. We were like in groupthink as a country. Kobe died. Then COVID hits, then the BLM stuff, straight into an election. It was crazy. And then
it was like a whole 12 months.
Yeah, and then the vaccine stuff. And then it was just like, this is all we are. And I'm pretty sure I missed a couple stories in there too that were.
Yeah, Australia had the fires.
Oh, the fires and stuff. It was crazy.
There's a lot going on.
So anyways, all that to being said, when Overwhelmed, we were like, I was going to film in that fall anyways, but then we're just like, well, these are our only options. So I guess I'm doing this outside with Transit. People will come up to me after shows a lot and they're like, I saw you with Kev on stage. They'll say that specific set or the second one.
The outdoor, keep your distance shows.
And I always tell them, I go, Kev on stage changed my career. Single-handedly. Changed my whole career. Yeah. Found me online. I did the order of things that I did with him. I did an unpopular opinion, which was when I was ranting about how cake is bad and Disney's overrated. And then I did the first Keep Your Distance,
which is like a monthly show that Kev did, like a digital online show.
And Melissa, it's down to jokes that changed my career with Kev.
Yeah.
Because the first one with him was the what do you do with your sign at the
BLM.
What do you do with your BLM sign? And that went big in a few different places. And it got me the whole set got me the invite back. But in between the invite back, we filmed with Transit. Kev produced it, and then we do the second one. And I was like, I'm so grateful for there are multiple comedians that have altered our career. We're
Absolutely.
so blessed.
Yeah.
Tim Hawkins was the first one. Tim Hawkins, we're deep into Dustin's comedy corner here, everybody. I'm getting sentimental here on the taping week. Tim Hawkins is the reason I was a professional comedian when I was.
100%.
I auditioned for him, and then his brother called me and said, Tim wants to give you 9 to 10 weeks a year. And that was enough. That was enough to pay the bills just right there. And Tim is so kind and so gracious and so mentoring personally and professionally. We owe him.
And then he let you sell merch at the shows.
And you would sell merch under Tim. Like, you would double your money sometimes. It was crazy. Tim, and then John also a huge boost. I used to say, like, Tim.
He was more the internet.
Well, Tim gave me the opportunity to be a professional comic. John gave me a following. An online presence. Online presence, if you will. Yeah. Because John is so good at the internet. Yeah. John is a master of the internet. And touring with him was very high profile, and those are big shows. And that kind of put us, and we have a lot of fans still who saw us with John. Yeah. And then Taylor, obviously, still continually, and Taylor's like, my best bud. We talk every day. Yep. And we were open micers together. So Tim and John were like comics that we met along the ride. Taylor, we came up together, and there's like a closeness. Gosh, we've done so many. We did Elks Lodges together. So we did every bad gig under the sun together. And we all knew you were going to be this meteoric star, unicorn, as I always call her. Right.
But you never know when those people are going to pop. Yeah. Get discovered.
Well, we knew it would happen pretty quick for her. But yeah, and same with her, like a continued increase in following, and financially it's helpful, and they're just fun. And then we write a bunch together. And then there's also like, and then Nate. Continuing working with Nate is like he filmed a special this last week. Nate is great because of everyone I've named, Nate and Tim have the most years of comedy on them. And so sitting under them and sitting under Nate of just going like, I love hearing you talk about comedy.
Because you were both filming specials in the next 2 weeks. And you were both ready to just like talk a ton about it. Yeah. And that you got to see him on Wednesday, and that was just super helpful.
Incredible. Yeah. Nate and Kev. And what I've noticed, though, and what all of them have, Tim, John, Taylor, Nate, Kev, all 5 of these comics who have had enormous impact on our career, on our business, is all big, all super gracious, super kind, and super generous to other comics. That's great, because I know that there are comics who are big that are not like that. So anyways, all that to say, when Overwhelmed came out, I view Overwhelmed as a collection of the best bits that I had written on my first 9 years. Yeah. This is an hour. This is more like a book. That's what Louis called them. Like they're like your hour. You're like I had a friend text me the other day. Like it was Gino. Gino is.
Oh, he saw you in Portland.
He saw me in Portland, and he was like, "I watch a lot of comedy. That is a very tight hour, and it all connects." And you're like, "That's the goal, right? You want this to all thematically connect. So it's like it doesn't feel jarring. Like, okay, now he's doing the bit on this. That's not how I like to do comedy, at least. So, anyways,
like you have jokes and stuff that you've saved for the next hour for touring that you didn't need to tease out because they didn't fit.
Yeah. No, I have. That's exactly it. I have a couple ideas, a bunch of dad jokes right now that I'm like, I don't know where to put those. Or there's a lot of like stuff that you're
it just doesn't fit. Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be there. Yeah,
or it's not. It could be better. And
it could be better.
Work it out later.
I have tried to put the send one kid down the slide joke in 2 hours now, and it just hasn't worked. Right. And you're like, all right, well, maybe it'll fit into this next one. And I actually have an idea where the next one's gonna go already. And I think how it's you just kind of like Tim told me this, and Tim took this down too. It's like at a certain point you don't write funny, you write passion. So what are the things that you're like thinking and caring about? And one of the things that I talk about a lot right now, that like off the air, is how like every place is the same and nowhere's better or than other. One of my least favorite things that people do is crap on another city. Who cares? Right. I don't care if you don't like Portland. I don't care if you think Portland has a homeless problem or too many people poop in the street in San Francisco, or if you hate all those rednecks down in Birmingham. I don't care. Yeah. I do not. Every place is great. Every place is terrible. They're all wonderful. They're all awful. Nowhere is better. Nowhere is intrinsically better. There. Exactly. What do they have there? People, restaurants, businesses, things to do, weather. They all have the things.
Yeah.
Everywhere is the same. Trust me.
And they're like, but mine's better.
Listen, I live in what is probably inarguably the best city in America. You could, I shouldn't say inarguably.
You could definitely argue
okay, let me say, that's the opposite. That's what I meant to say. Arguably the best city in America. San Diego has a million things to do. We have restaurants. We have all the things. We have the weather. We have beaches. We are split right down the line politically, so we don't lean one way too much or the other. We've got our problems. I would say the pros far outweigh the cons, and it is expensive for those reasons, but it's actually cheaper than some of the other West Coast cities. It's great. And even San Diego go, yeah, it's fine. It's got some great things. It's got some terrible things. Everyone's smart. Everyone is stupid. Yeah. Nobody is. If you don't like Portland, or you don't like Dallas, or you don't like New York, or you don't like Raleigh, then don't live there. But don't think you're better than the people that do live there. Yeah. You're not. You're not smarter than them. You're not better than them. No. You're not more important than them. You just live somewhere else. That's it. You just prefer to live in that place. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. This might be in the news. So what I'm saying is I think that I have a couple of ideas about how San Diego is wonderful, but it has its problems. And where I'm from, Seattle, where we're from, is Seattle has its problems. And that was...
Well, you get that a lot. You get that a lot when you tour. And
here's what I get a lot. Ready? People go, what's your favorite city? I go, for comedy or to go to? And
those are very different.
They're very different things. Yeah. And they go, for to go to. I go, San Francisco. I go, San Francisco is my favorite city in America. I love San Francisco. Oh, but the homeless. Well, don't go. Don't go. It doesn't weird.
You asked me.
It doesn't weird me out to see homeless people. I've only lived in cities. Yeah. I admit that there's a homeless problem there. Yes. Now what? It doesn't mean I don't like the city. It doesn't mean I don't love the other things about the city.
Rule out cities for a lot of people.
Just because you don't like remembering that there's poor people.
I know.
Just because you see a homeless person, it makes you feel weird.
I don't know. People just they prefer. They don't like cities.
Listen,
that's just that.
I think that I think that's the big issue is that they don't like cities
because that's not a liberal. Have poverty as well.
Yeah.
It just looks different.
I also, what I get what you're saying with the kids stuff, I get that. And that you're like, when you go to like a tourist area and it's kind of gross because, it's not kept up, or maybe it is.
If your kids are rolling on the sidewalk.
The last time you and I went to Venice Beach, we go, this is probably the last time we're going to go to Venice Beach.
At sunset, yeah.
I get it. But it doesn't mean I don't like LA. That stuff bums me out. But and then people go, what's your favorite place to do comedy? And I go, Chicago and Dallas. Those are my two favorite comedy cities. And they go, what? One way or the other. Like, how could you like those two things? It's like, are you not catching a theme here? That I don't really have an affiliation one way or the other?
Yeah, that's part of it too, is some people's roots just go like so deep that they are not open-minded to other places.
Yeah, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. There are cities in this great country that we have that I would be okay to never go to again. I would be fine, would have no problem whatsoever if I never went to Jacksonville again. Jacksonville, Florida, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. What I said about Jacksonville when I was there is it's nice, but I don't like being here. I don't know why it is. But I'm not better than Jacksonville. Here's what it is. Okay, I found it. Ready? It's not that you don't like that city. And it's not that you're better than the people that it is. It's, for whatever reason, your history, your context, your beliefs, your experience, your comfort level, you don't like the way you feel in that city. Mm-hmm. But that is not an indictment of that place.
It's just not for you.
It's just not for you. That's it. It's just not for you. Period. I don't like spicy food. It's not for me. I don't like the way it makes my mouth feel. And I really don't like the way it makes my butthole feel later. Can we say butthole on this? I don't know. Gross.
You just did.
I just did. That's all. Portland's fine. Let me tell you guys about Munchie Mug. Not my most seamless. I got a little ranty.
You did.
This pod has been an interesting one in that we were real silly up top. And then we did a little Dustin's Comedy Corner, and then I just went a little rant.
Got a hint of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Regional rant.
But
Dustin, it's fall.
It is fall. And so you got...
You know what?
What?
Kids like
snacks. They love them.
And
oh my gosh, they love snacks. More than parents. Not more than parents like them. They like
fall snack for you.
Oh my gosh.
You ready?
Is it
You know it. Pretzels. Peanuts.
Oh yeah.
Roasted peanuts. And my gosh. Candy corn.
You cut it up with your sword that you've been carrying.
I carry it in my sachet. That lives in my fencing uniform.
But Melissa, kids would make a mess with that.
That's true. But that
sounds so messy.
That's where Munchie Mug comes in.
Yeah.
It's a spill-proof snack cup.
Yep.
Kids love it. Parents love it.
They do.
That's right.
I need to start putting, when you get to the bottom of your Smart Pop bag.
Oh, the bottom of the Smart Pop bag is full of crumbs.
It's
like the last cup or two.
It's a problem.
Is too small.
I love Smart Pop. It's maybe the best snack innovation in the last 5 years.
So it's basically rice cakes, but popcorn.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's so good. It's really, really good.
But
it is so messy at the end.
Yeah.
But a Munchie Mug would solve that. If you guys aren't familiar with Munchie Mug, it is the best spill-proof cup on the market, made right here in the United States. Comes in a variety of colors, dishwasher safe, nice soft lid. It's fantastic. And if you go to munchiemug.com and use promo code DON'TMAKEME, that's all one word, don't make me, no apostrophe, no capitals. You could probably capital. I don't know. Don't make me. You're going to get 25% off your entire order. Munchiemug.com, promo code don't make me, 25% off your entire order. Munchie Mug.
Making your life less messy.
Melissa, we have a couple things here that I wanted to discuss with you.
Okay.
You kind of got into the fall thing.
A little
into the fall.
Yeah, a little.
It's about 100 degrees here in San Diego. It's not fall. We're
having a heat wave.
Can we talk about dress code?
Dress code?
Dress code at schools. I had this on my list.
This is a big one.
This is a big one. And you let me elaborate while you find your thoughts.
Well, I know my thoughts.
Yeah.
It's very dicey.
Okay, so it is
dicey.
Can
I tell you?
Uh-huh.
We have kids at elementary school, middle school, and high school.
Yes.
And I was telling my friend who has one kid in middle school.
Uh-huh.
The girls can wear sports bras to high school. And
that's true?
It. Because, yes, a lot of the high schools don't enforce midriff.
Okay.
And they've been polling the students, the parents, the staff, and it's kind of like 50-50.
Right.
So they haven't made any hard and fast rules, but it's pretty much just like, the parts have to be covered.
Right.
And that's the extent of it.
Right.
At a lot of high schools now.
The parts have to be covered.
I tried to say that in the most
actually,
diplomatic
that is the best way you could have said that. That's very funny.
Yeah. And a lot of the girls do wear just like crop top tank tops, which is like a sports bra essentially, but they wear like jackets and hoodies. Flannels. So there's there's a little stomach, but mostly they have layers over it.
What do you remember?
Yeah.
I know it's a hard comparison because we essentially went to high school in the rain scenes from movies. That's kind of what our, in the movie where they show like the person is like sad
sequence.
And they're like broke because they just got broke up. They're like going through like this depressed season of their life, and it's gray and
30
always
seconds
drizzly
of a REM song.
That's exactly it. That was our October through April, and then also probably the 4th of July. But
you cannot really show off skin in the Northwest.
No, but I do remember being at UW, and when there would be
the college girls did.
When there was a spring day, you'd be like, "All right, it's sunny."
Yeah, the college girls did.
So,
but not really the high school girls.
But I don't know. We also didn't go to high school in Southern California. Just culturally, there's a lot of skin in Southern California.
No,
it's very warm.
What? I'm seeing senior pictures. I'm seeing first day of school pics. Everybody's wearing crop tops.
Everyone's wearing crop tops.
All the high school girls are.
So it's everywhere.
It's not just Southern California.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting.
And I don't
we're not prudes about it.
Have a take about it. I just was kind of preparing this dad for what was coming with his daughter, because right now she's a 3rd grader.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's a whole different world at the high school and the college. We all know what SDSU folks dress like.
Well, SDSU is its own thing altogether. Yeah.
But like middle school still has a lot of rules.
And elementary school, obviously, a million rules.
Exactly. And by high school, they got to give the kids some freedom.
Well, I remember this from even like my youth pastor days, and this was to some extent at like the rec center that we worked at, which had some dress code things. If you get in the business, I really feel for the teachers and the administration, because if you get into the business of enforcing dress code, that's all you do. Every single day you are, you have to go tell someone. It's dress code is not just, we're not just talking about women's clothing, because there are also things like you can't wear hats. Your jeans can't be too low. You can't be sagging.
Yeah.
You can't have drug or alcohol paraphernalia or logos on your shirts. It's not, dress code is a huge thing.
It always has been.
And it always has been. Yeah. And if I know this because there have been times in my life where I've had to enforce dress codes, and it is miserable. It is one of the worst feelings to have to go tell somebody, especially a kid, what that they're wearing is inappropriate, because you are fearing that you're going to make, I would always make them feel that, I didn't want to make them feel bad, like they'd made some giant mistake or something like that. But you do have to draw some line somewhere on, like, you can't be wearing drug and alcohol paraphernalia. Like your parts have to be covered. In a school setting, you know.
I think it's like when you manage like Starbucks employees and like you can't wear jeans. Yeah. Like you have to wear like black or khaki.
Every place in society, except for your home when you're by yourself or you're at a hotel with your loved one, adult, consenting marital adult. Then those are the only two not marital, consenting adult. Those are the only two places where there's no dress code that I can think of in society.
Like 7-Eleven wants you to wear shoes.
You gotta wear some shoes and a shirt. Shoes. You gotta wear a shirt. I actually don't think you have to wear a shirt at 7-Eleven in Southern California, because they'll be like, hey, this is the beach, baby.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people go to the beach without shoes on.
Right.
So
I personally would not go shoeless into a 7-Eleven so as to pick up the new foot variant. Yeah.
So go ahead. Do you have anything to add to that?
It's just a bigger topic that I think is like, this is just more of a funny story, and I have to tell it very delicately. I picked up Gloria the other day. I love picking up Gloria. I tell her all the time, Gloria is magical. She has this sunlight energy to her when she's happy and beaming, and it's great. I love picking her up from school. She's so funny. All three of her kids are so funny. So I pick her up, and we're driving, and
she's a 7th grader.
She's a 7th grader in middle school. And there is a girl who I don't even notice because I'm driving, and you know how pickup lines get around there. It's a little crazy. Who Gloria notices is not up to dress code. She comments on it, because whatever she's wearing is too small. And I don't see anything, I don't say anything, about it. But what Gloria goes is like, she breaks dress code a lot and she never gets in trouble for it. Maybe some parents are like, what a teaching moment I have right here. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh no. Gosh, what a just grenade that you pulled the trigger and hot potatoed into my hand here.
Right.
But I say to her, and I go, well, Gloria, the only person's dress code at your school that I'm concerned about is yours. That's the only one. And I go, I don't notice when other girls aren't up to dress code. And I go, it would actually be pretty inappropriate if I did. And she laughed.
Right.
And I go, that'd be pretty weird, right, Gloria? If I was just driving around the school being like, that girl didn't hit dress code. Am I right? And she's like, yeah, that'd be weird. Stop saying this. I'm like, you brought it up. I'm using this as a hypothetical example here. I just tried to parlay it into Gloria of just going like, all you can worry about is yourself. All you can, I go, it's, don't compare. Don't worry about what rules are being enforced and not enforced for other kids. Just, you know the rules, you follow them, and don't try and push the envelope with them. Just wear what you want to wear and within the rules, and you don't have uniforms. So you have a ton of expression opportunities. Private schools have uniforms. Some public schools have uniforms. Your sisters went to huge public high school that had uniforms. And I get why they do it. I totally get why they do it.
Yeah, it's pretty hard with like a polo to make that inappropriate.
Yeah.
It can still be done, but
yeah. You can put a Budweiser patch on your polo if you want, or a 9 Inch Nails sticker. I don't know where that one came
then
from.
your parents are going to have to buy a new polo.
Right. And they're not going to be crazy about that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was an interesting, because it's this like fine line. Clothing for your kids is a really weird thing that nobody really talks about. Only like the annoying tropes of like Clueless, the dad, like, you're not wearing that out, put a jacket on. And then she puts on the tiny little sweater or whatever. Like there's that trope of a dad telling her girl to cover up, but like that's not even 10% of the issues that you're dealing with here.
It's so much.
You're also dealing with like you sent me that shirt that you DM'd me a picture. Like, is this a drug reference that Joel was trying to get? Is this drugs?
That's
or trying to get them to dress nice enough for certain occasions, or
but you also want them to be confident.
But you also 100% clothing can be fun for, if that's your thing, that can be super fun. And I don't know. I thought it was more of, no one's written a book on parenting. I wonder if they might, but it depends. Depends what their agent wants, but
yeah, we both got rejected.
Yeah,
this
both
week.
And I got Ooh, big nose. You and I both.
Passion projects.
We essentially broke dress code of our book ideas. It's all right. I'll just keep trying to get bigger so they let us do whatever we want. But it's really, I think my biggest thing when I think about what our kids wear is it comfortable? Does it feel good? Because I'm the king of comfort, baby. And do you like the way you feel when you wear it? And
that's sweet.
Yeah. And, and then after that was the George Wallace thing. That's why I wear flannels on stage. George Wallace told me that at Comedy Magic one night, because you have to wear on stage whatever makes you feel like the most like yourself. And that's for me a flannel, usually an open flannel with a t-shirt that I like, because I like the way I feel when I'm in that.
Yeah.
And, and I think that's the same thing about their clothes. And, I made the joke about like the Nirvana shirt and stuff. And there were a lot of people being like, you're a gatekeeper, dad. You're like, this is an elaborate dad joke. You missed this by a mile. If my kids think it's cool, then whatever. Do
you want to explain that or no?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Fine.
But I guess, and then just also trying to explain to them that there's a time and a place for outfits. There's a time and a place for what you can and can't wear. There's no overarching rules to wardrobe.
Except your tank tops have to be 2 inches in the straps.
No. I'm talking about, in school. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In school.
Joking.
My school was you couldn't wear hats school. My schools were bad, though. My schools were, you couldn't ride bikes to my elementary school because they kept getting stolen. You weren't allowed to ride a bike to school.
Well, I don't think we were ever allowed to have hats.
Can you guys shoot us emails at dontmakemecomebackthere@gmail.com? I would love to hear about you guys navigating the dress code stuff with your kids. If there's been pushback, if there's been fighting, if people, have you gotten a kid who's gotten in trouble with it before? Has there been a bunch of controversy at your school over dress code? I want to talk more about dress code stuff because I think it's so funny and interesting and also relatable, because there's been times in our life, everybody who's had a job or went to school has had to think through, can I wear this or not wear this to school?
Another one is hair.
Hair, we didn't even touch on hair. Yeah.
We'll save that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. I got a couple emails here. So this one is from Alyssa here. This is on AirPods. Ready?
Yep.
Alyssa, she's a regular of the pod.
Hey, Alyssa.
Subject, AirPods. Hey, Dustin and Melissa. While listening to the discussion on the AirPods and headphones, I was nodding along with Dustin. I also think that when I see people with AirPods or earbuds in, that they don't want anyone to speak to them. I feel like it blew up during COVID when people would wear masks and have earbuds and no one would speak in public. 100% agree with that. My kids
I never did that. That sounds fun.
Oh, I mean, I would go through the airport with AirPods and a mask and a hat. And
Invisible.
Melissa, when I travel, I'm wearing a hat with a hoodie over my hat. So my hoodie, I have hoodie, hat, mask, AirPods. I'm Sub-Zero. I'm invisible. I'm a ninja. I'm full ninja'd up. I loved it. My kids are still so young, so I haven't had to worry about constantly connected, but I really appreciate you guys limiting your kids' amount of connectivity because it'll help them in the long run. When I substitute taught, I hated when the kids would be on their phones or have earbuds in. Every teacher was different, so I never knew what to do about it. I do sympathize with Melissa and needing a moment of quiet. Everyone talking at once makes me want me to pull my hair out. Yes.
Yeah.
And I can't process information with constant mom in the background. Thanks for meeting you guys, and I love the book and I can't wait for the next live show. Thanks, Alyssa. It's a nice email.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Okay, and then I've got one more email here, and then we're done, all right?
Okay.
I haven't read this one. It actually came in just yesterday. So this is from Kimberly. The subject says, I'm okay, but I don't get much sleep. Hi, Dustin and Melissa. This is Kimberly. I emailed you a few weeks ago about being a mom of 4 toddlers with a baby on the way. Oh, yeah, this is a follow-up.
This is Kimberly.
This is Kimberly. Kimberly, I'm sorry.
Kimberly's back.
Kimberly is back. Was this,
awesome.
Yeah.
This was the birthday
party. One,
yeah.
Yeah. I've recently been binging all your podcasts starting in 2018 with Vicky Barbalak, and I finally caught up to the one where you responded to my email question and celebrating all their birthdays during November, December. Wow.
That's coming up.
You listened to that so fast. Thank you, Kimberly. I was cracking up listening to it as I was vacuuming out all the smashed cereal and goldfish in our minivan. It was then I realized that all the Munchie Mug ads were for me. Anyways, the episode I thought was so funny that you asked me if I was okay, and you told me that if I try to have a birthday party for each kid, then I might make it to my next birthday. My birthday is actually the day before my due date with baby number 5 in November.
Oh, no. Goodbye, birthday.
Oh, my gosh. Anyways, my question is, what's the most regrettable thing you've done as a parent? Oh, my gosh. Oh, jeez, Kimberly. For me, it was when I fell asleep nursing one of my twins at 3 a.m. when she was a few months old, and the next thing I know, I hear a heavy thud and a loud crying. Turns out she slipped out, and I dropped her on her head when I fell asleep. Terrible parenting, I know, but she's just fine now. As you can imagine, we don't get much sleep in our house. Thanks for the last. By far my favorite podcast I listened to, and I'm pretty upset I went through 4 years of your podcast in the past several weeks, and I've officially finished them. That's crazy. Guess I'll have to sign up for your Patreon now. Thanks, Kimberly.
Oh, Kimberly. Thank
you. As far as bad parenting moments go, that one is, listen, it sucks. That's an accident, and you're exhausted.
Right. I'm going to share one that's not actually my worst one.
Okay. Yeah. I was just trying to think of the same thing. What's my most regrettable parenting moment? What's my most regrettable parenting moment that I'm comfortable sharing publicly? That's the real question here.
My kids had too large of a loft bed too early, and that was total use your air. We bought one that was too tall because we didn't know the dimensions well.
Yeah.
And it was too tall. And I regret that, and it goes along with Kimberly's because one time Gloria carried Claire up the ladder, and we kept the ladder up away from Claire because it was detachable, but one time Gloria, you know, at bedtime, whatever, climbed up with her and she fell. Claire fell, and I was so scared.
Yep.
And that's happened. I have a million stories like that.
Yeah.
But that one should have taken that loft bed down that day.
Yeah, that is tough.
But sometimes, like, you just need hindsight to actually, think through that. The loft bed was too tall.
That's tough. For me, no regrets. Perfect record. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm a perfect parent. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Wanted to give a special shout out to our As Essential as Oils patrons. That's our $25 a month and up level patrons. Thank you so much for your support of the podcast and Dustin Nickerson comedy. That is Trey Turner, Nathan and Jennifer Merritt, Adam Bush, Jennifer Ashley Downs, Juliana Smith, Jordan Cowan, Code to Grow, Courtney Eibling, Lori Amos, Dave and Melissa Cox, Isaac Terron, Farrah Journey, Bonnie Galindo, Carrie Teague, Avril Griffiths, Jessica Sewell, Rachel Kennedy, Dave Hoagland, Demarius Diaz-Stevens, Nicole Carraz, and Tiffany Payne. Thank you so much, everybody.